Alright, so there's been a post on the HackTheSite.org forums about the Die Hard movie and getting free cell phone service and something regarding satellites. This video is going to show you how you can get free cell phone service. It does involve modifying your phone a little bit, so don't use one that you really care about or you can't afford to break. In this case, I'm going to use an old LG CU500 flip phone, kind of nice, really durable. I've been using it for a couple years. It's got the extended battery, which may or may not actually be important. Now, this doesn't involve any satellites like the movie, but it'll still get you free cell phone service. Alright, now the first step you have to perform is to remove your SIM card. That's generally underneath the battery. I have to put the camera down here to do this. Like I said, this phone's kind of old, so it's kind of jammed in there. There it goes. SIM card's going to look something like this. Just slide out of there, be real careful with it so you don't break it. There's a SIM card. We can set that aside. The reason for this is that your SIM card contains all of the data about who you are and what plan you are. You're on, what network you belong to, and so on and so forth. The reason for this is you could take this, in theory, take this SIM card, put it into any other phone, and it would work as if it was your own phone. There's no nonsense. You don't have to go into the dealer and have them modify your phone or reprogram a phone or anything like that. Alright. Alright. Alright, the next thing we're going to want to do is bridge a couple of these pins down here. Now what we're going to do is use the electrical conductor in order to short out a few of these pins, and that will, in most cell phones, it'll work in about 80% of cell phones, put the cell phone into a kind of debug mode, or maintenance mode, whatever you want to call it, which will grant it unlimited access on the network to call any number for free. It's used by the companies to test their network, make sure they work properly. Now, obviously, with this, you can't be stupid about it. Don't be calling, a lot of people or making calls over about 5 minutes, because then they get a little suspicious when that shows up in their system logs, and they tend to deactivate the phone remotely. I mean, if that happens, you're just going to have to get a new phone, honestly, because they have a built-in ID of some type in here. Not entirely clear on how that works, but long story short, don't be an idiot about it, don't abuse it, and you should be fine. Now, we can't exactly put a wire or anything down here because it'll roll around, so what we're going to do is take a piece of paper, we're going to pen of paper. See, one piece should be pretty thin. This feels a bit thinner than standard printer paper, so we should be fine. And just scribble on it with a pencil, not a pen, but a pencil. You're going to want to make a really dark mark here and make it pretty big. Now, the reason for this is that graphite is actually an electrical conductor, and graphite is what pencil lead actually is. It's not actually lead. Pencil lead is graphite, because lead causes lead poisoning, so they don't use that anymore. Now, we need to make sure we have a really dark mark here. Alright, if it's really light, it's not going to work because it won't conduct enough electricity. As it is, this isn't a very good conductor, but it should work. Alright. That looks pretty good. The reason for making this so much larger than the pins is because we don't want to try and size it exactly and then figure out we're off by a little bit. Excess is no big deal.